Nagu, Nagu, Nagu. And the royal chiefs from the royal palace of Asaba. Thank you so much for being here. Her Excellency, the wife of the governor of Delta State, Deaconess Tobore Obowovore, the Honorable Commissioner for Secondary Education, Delta State, Dr. Kingsley Nze Ashibogu. Fantastic. The special guest of honor, Mr. Chiedu Ebie, Chairman, Governing Board, Niger Delta Development Commission. Distinguished guests, school leaders, policymakers, fellow educators, and champions of learning. It is an honor and privilege to be with you this morning delivering the opening keynote. Before I begin, I would like to sincerely appreciate Mrs. Uche Mono, the convener of the High Impact Conference for Educators, and her team, and her wonderful husband, and her wonderful family. I've been a recipient of our family's joy and their love for people who they do not, they've just met. They are a wonderful family, and I'm excited to be here this morning to celebrate with them. And congratulations, Uche. Very well done. Well done. Please give her a round of applause. I need it to be louder, 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 and louder. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to begin with a simple question. What is the purpose of education? What is the purpose of education? The answer to that question determines everything. It determines what we teach. It determines how we teach. It determines what we assess. It determines what we consider to be successful. And how we prepare young children for today and tomorrow. Many people might say that the purpose of education is to help children pass examinations, get into university, and get a great job. Those things matter. But education must be about something bigger. Because if a child spends 15 years to 17 years in school, earns all the certificates, passes the examinations, and yet leaves unable to think critically, solve problems, communicate effectively, make wise decisions, behave responsibly, or contribute meaningfully to society, can we truly say that that child has been educated? I believe education is far more than the transfer of knowledge and graduation. Education is the formation of the human being. Education expands awareness. It develops capability. It shapes character. It builds confidence. It creates opportunity. And it creates freedom. A child who learns to read gains access to the world that they might never actually enter. A child who learns to think critically becomes less vulnerable to manipulation. A child who learns to solve problems becomes more capable of shaping their future and the future of society. A child who discovers their voice becomes more confident in changing their circumstances. Education creates awareness. Education creates awareness. Awareness creates possibility. Possibility creates transformation, and transformation creates freedom. Dear educators in the room, this is why our work matters. This is why our work matters. Nelson Mandela famously said, and I know we all know this quote, education is the most powerful weapon with which we can use to change the world. If I take it a bit closer to home, sometimes I think the world is so big. Closer to home, and we say that education is the most powerful weapon for changing a life. The question before us today is not whether education matters. The question is whether our current approach is disrupting. It has disrupted something this second that I was just talking. It has disrupted something. It's disrupting, it's reshaping industries. Technology is redefining how people learn, how people connect, how people communicate. Employers are demanding new skills in the workplace. As the society has changed, students are growing up in a world that did not exist when many of us were in school. Yet, many classrooms, many lessons, many practices in education remain the same. John Dewey once said, if we teach today's students as we taught yesterday's, we rob them of tomorrow. If we teach today's students the way we taught yesterday's, we rob them of tomorrow. I believe that statement is so important today. Many of the students sitting in our classroom today will eventually work in jobs that this second, those jobs don't exist. They will solve problems that have not even emerged. They will use technologies that have not been invented. But they are in our classrooms today. And we are meant to prepare them for the world. Transforming our teaching practice is no longer optional. It's not a buzzword. It is essential. We must transform our teaching practice. Our responsibility is no longer simply to teach information, to share information, for the children to copy long notes and memorize those long notes for an exam. Our responsibility is to develop learners. Learners who can think,